Hi, it's Billy Dunlap with GoLaurens.com and GoClennon.com. Welcome to week 11 of the Laurens County Football Show. Coming to you from just outside the Ridge at Laurens, where on Friday at noon, Coach Buddy Pugh, head coach of the South Carolina State Bulldogs, will be the featured speaker at the Laurens County Touchdown Club at noon on Friday right here at the Ridge at Laurens. Now let's talk about football. We're into the playoffs. Regular season for our high school teams ended last week. Laurens Academy finished up their season last week, so now we've got the Clinton Red Devils and the Laurens Raiders that start playoff action this week, and the Presbyterian College Blue Hose will continue their regular season this week. So let's talk about the Laurens Raiders. They're traveling to Rock Hill to face the Northwestern Trojans in the opening round of the 5A playoffs. The game will be played Thursday night at 7:30 at District 3 Stadium in Rock Hill. Rock Hill and Northwestern share a stadium. Both teams are hosting first round games, so Northwestern will play Thursday night. Rock Hill will host Malden on Friday night. So 7:30 Thursday night, District 3 Stadium in Rock Hill. Now Laurens comes in, they're number 4 seed out of Region 2. 3-7 overall, 2-3 in region play. They lost to Greenwood in their regular season finale last week, 34-11. The Raiders gave up 512 yards, 434 yards rushing to the Eagles last week. Offense only managed 172 yards for Coach Liner's Laurens Raiders. The offense for the Raiders, they got to be more productive. They got to be better up front, give Ryan Campbell more time to throw, but they got to clear lanes. They got 2 big backs, Troy Dendy and Corrado Ray. The offensive line's got to be better up front to open holes for those guys to be able to run, for the Raiders to have a chance against the Trojans on Thursday night. Now let's talk about the Northwestern Trojans. They're the number 1 seed out of Region 4 5A. They're 6-4, 3-1 in region play. They defeated Rock Hill last week to win the region and collect that number 1 seed. They're led by interim head coach James Martin. He took over. David Pierce started the season as head coach. He was fired after they lost to Burns early in the season, so James Martin has been their interim coach since then. The Trojans have losses to South Point, Burns, Spartanburg, and Nation Ford. They have wins over Rock Hill, Dorman, South Mecklenburg, Gaffney, Fort Mill, and Clover. Offensively, the Trojans are scoring 27.2 points per game. Defensively, they're giving up 24.7. So, giving up a lot of points, but they're scoring a lot of points. So, be interesting to see how they match up with the Raiders on Thursday night. They've got a Shrine Bowl offensive lineman, Kadarius Canity. He's a big offensive lineman. They got 2 guys going to the North-South game, wide receiver Jordan Starks and defensive lineman Chance Miller. But their top player, junior wide receiver Jamario Holly, we remember him when he was a freshman when Laurens went to Northwestern for the first round of the playoffs 2 years ago. Jamario Holly is a big-time talent. He's got offers from all over the place. Last week against Rock Hill, 166 yards and 2 touchdowns receiving. Now, they've also got a big-time sophomore quarterback, Dustin Noller. Last week, 29 for 36 against Rock Hill, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also ran for 2 touchdowns. So it's going to be a little bit different for the Raiders this week. Last week, they faced a Greenwood team that just pounded the rock, ran the ball pretty much the entire game. This week's going to be a little different. Northwestern's going to look to air it out. They got 2 big-time receivers, and they got a big-time quarterback. So Thursday night, 7:30 at District 3 Stadium in Rock Hill will be the Northwestern Trojans versus the Laurens Raiders. Now let's move to the Clinton Red Devils. They're going to travel to Seneca on Friday at 7:30 for the opener in the 3A state playoffs. Clinton, a number 4 seed out of Region 3. They finished the season 4-6 overall, 2-3 in region play. They defeated Woodruff 41-21 last week. They racked up 459 rushing yards against Woodruff. We just did Player of the Week over at Clinton this week. We gave it to the entire offensive line. If your running backs can run for 459 yards, you deserve the Players of the Week award, and that's what we did for Clinton. Mark Wise ran 26 times for 244 yards and 3 touchdowns. Chris Holmes also ran 26 times for 180 yards and a touchdown. The Red Devils, the key for them defensively, they've just got to be better. They've got to continue to get better. They got to do a better job tackling. Coach Andrew Webb's talked about that all season, about how they struggled tackling on defense. So they got to do that against Seneca to be successful on Friday night. And they got to continue to open holes up front. Clinton's going to run the ball. They're going to control the clock, but the offensive line's got to continue to be strong. Chris Holmes, Mark Wise got to continue to find those holes and hit those gaps to get positive yards. Now let's talk about the Seneca Bobcats. They're the #1 seed out of Region 1, 7-3 overall, 4-0 in region play. They defeated Pendleton last week. They've got wins over Berea, Daniel, Pickens, West Oak, Walhalla, Crescent, and Pendleton. They've got losses against Chapman, Powdersville, and Easley. They've won the region for the last 3 years, so Seneca is a perennial power in the upstate of South Carolina in 3A. Defensively, they're giving up 15 points per game. Offensively, they're scoring 31.6 points per game. They're on a 5-game win streak. They haven't lost since mid-September. Now, their key player, they like to run the ball. Jeremiah Mackey, he's run for 1,134 yards this season. Last week against Pendleton, 112 yards and 3 touchdowns. So a big game for the Red Devils. They got to be better on defense and they got to be consistent on offense to hopefully upset the Seneca Bobcats. Now let's talk about the Presbyterian College Blue Hose. They are playing their first road game in 65 days. They're facing Monmouth Saturday at 1 o'clock. That's in West Long Branch, New Jersey. So the Blue Hose finally hitting the road after 65 days and 7 straight home games. PC 3-5 overall, 0-2 in Big South Conference play. They lost to Kennesaw State last week, 28-0. Monmouth comes in 7-1, a perfect 2-0 in Big South Conference play. Their only loss of the year is to Albany, 28-14 on September the 16th. So we've got 3 big games this week. Reminder, we've also got Lawrence County Touchdown Club right here at the Ridge on Friday. Coach Buddy Pugh, head coach of the South Carolina State Bulldogs, will be here at noon. We've got Lawrence going to Northwestern Thursday night at 7:30, Clinton going to Seneca Friday night at 7:30, and Presbyterian College on the road at Monmouth Saturday at 1 o'clock. So we got some big games. We're looking for 3 big W's from our local teams, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the game.